So neurotransmitters are chemicals that uh, help the electrical message is converted into a biochemical message. So information at synapses can uh, bridge the gap and have the electrical signal that caused the release of neurotransmitter. And that release of neurotransmitter causes another electrical signal. So if it uses acetylcholine, it's called a cholinergic synapse. If it used norepinephrine and dopamine, it's called adrenergic synapse. If it uses dopamine, it uses another neurotransmitter called dopamine. People who have Parkinson's disease have storage and use of dopamine is not working very well, and they may have the jitters, and we can treat that by uh, adding dopamine to the nervous system to replace its absence. So here's the process of what happens at a synapse. So an electrical signal comes down the nerve flowing away from the axon. Uh, Calcium moves into the cell. These vesicles fuse with the membrane, open up and release acetylcholine into the synaptic cleft. Uh, that opens up channels to let sodium in, and that sodium starts another action potential. Okay, we have groups of neurons all over the body. We have the brachial plexus, the lumbar plexus, the thoracic plexus, and so on with various names. Uh, Information is spread from one neuron to many more. That's divergent. Neurons may send information uh, to one another, and where information converges or is concentrated at a particular point. So here's our image that represents information being diverted from one group of cells to multiple groups of cells. Conversion happens when input from multiple cells is focused on a particular other nerve, and so that uh, process is gathered. So, for instance, we have information gathered on touch along our skin. That information converges so that we're aware of that uh, stimulation on the skin, and the information converges on particular neurons that are help being involved in the uh, processing of information from the exterior. So remember, that's called afferent input, AFFERENT. Afferent means information being carried from the exterior to the central nervous system. Efferent, EFFERENT, information leaving the central nervous system to respond to afferent sensory impulses. So we're constantly aware of our breathing rate, our posture, our temperature, if we're in pain, and so on. Okay, a synaptic terminal releases a chemical that comes from what's called a presynaptic neuron to a postsynaptic cell membrane. So we use changes in electrical balance to carry electrical signals along axons, and then we use um, biochemical messages to allow nerves to exchange information and to establish information on what's happening in the nerve, in the brain, in the exterior, and so on. So we have these different layers in the central nervous system. Let's stop there and have a short video for this. Let's go here and Stop recording, stop recording.